Another day of training. It was the evening. The sunset was so beautiful that it was perfect chance for a little nightmare to come and take that beauty away. I felt another presence come by and sit right next to me. It was none other than Muichiro himself. "What are you doing here?" he asked me. "The sunset." I didn't turn to look at him or anything. "The sunset what?" I could hear the curiosity in his voice rise. Finally looking up at him, I smiled and gestured him to sit beside me. "You know, someone back then told me something that still hasn't left my mind. It's always there somehow." Then I looked back at Muichiro. He seemed unfazed at the change of the topic, as if he was used to this thing from me already. "Go on, continue." "Well, there was this person that I saved from a demon. He was rather old, and he told me that there was something more desperate than saying, 'I want to die.'" I bit my lip ever so slightly and continued to look at the sunset. "A more desperate saying?" I heard Muichiro question. He said he hadn't realized it yet until then. He told me that wanting to live was my way of being more desperate. I sniffed a little. Wanting to live? It really hit me. I felt his hand intertwine with mine, and he responded with a soft tone that I've heard from him. "Well, life does hold a certain value to people. Tell me, Yin, would you want to keep living with the horrors of the world, or die and abandon all those hardships?" My breath hitched as he asked me that question, something that I really wasn't prepared to answer. I wasn't too sure until I saw the tears quietly stream down my face. I want to live, Muichiro. I don't want to die. I want to live." I dared turn to him, my face all wet with tears. I probably look like such an ugly crier. He placed his hand on my cheek and rubbed the tears off. "If that's the reason then, Yin, if I end up dying to save you, I'll be fine with that," he reassured me. "What? Stop messing around, Muichiro." I playfully hit him on the shoulder and he let out a laugh. "You wouldn't like it if I died for you, huh, idiot?" "That's different." He smiled and poked my forehead. "How do you mean it's different?" Laughs came from both of us, forgetting the fact that we were talking about death. Time skip. It was the next day after the little chat with Muichiro and me had on the rooftop. If I kept spending my time up there, I'll be no better than Obanai. All of us Hashira were present, and the air was very, not tense, but it was more awkward. "We should have at least 2 pillars guarding Okiyatama-sama at minimum," Sanami mentioned. Gomei had gone to talk about how the master wouldn't budge and give in to such security measures. "What is this meeting exactly?" I asked, confused about the meeting, when I could have been doing way more protective things, like bothering you or something. My brother got up and headed to the door. "It's dark out, and that's my cue to leave." I was about to reach out for him, but Shinobu just shook her head. "Just let him leave like that?" "Emergency summon! Emergency summon!" Our crows interrupted. "Attack on the Utarashiki estate!" That had stopped my brother from leaving any further, and the air in the room had suddenly gone tense. We all started running out, spreading ourselves from each other to possibly corner whatever dared to attack the master. Almost all the Hashira arrived at a walking distance, our rage being well shown by our presence. A large explosion had appeared in front of us, with the only surviving person, or should I say demon, was the man who was regenerating at an inhuman speed, quicker than any other demon or upper moon that I had seen. "You bitch! What did you do to Okiyatama-sama?" Sanami yelled. "Okiyatama-sama! Master! Okiyatama-sama!" It took me a minute for me to process what was occurring right in front of me fully. There was a woman, another demon perhaps, that I couldn't really get a good look of, with all the spikes around them and in Muzan's body. All of us had released attacks that were aimed at the Demon King. In the corner, I saw Tanjiro and 2 others joining in to attack. I looked over to where Gome was, and he unleashed a series of attacks towards the impaled Muzan Kibutsuji. All of us had followed and unleashed our own attacks, hoping to hit at least some part of him. I got ready to an attack, along with the other Hashira and Tanjiro. As we approached Muzan, the entirety of the ground had changed into doors and rooms. What the fuck is this sorcery? You seriously thought you could counter me? You're all going to hell now, he yelled, and I fell alongside Gome and Muichiro. The changing rooms of the Infinity Castle had Muichiro, Gome, and I falling into the same room. Since Muichiro landed first, he had attempted to catch me, but I fell onto Gome instead. Sorry, Hedijin-san. I got off quickly and bowed. He nodded his head at me, and I'm guessing that was a sign that he was saying, it's okay, or something. Trying to find where Muzan was hiding, we ran down the corridors of the weird building and the rooms shifting like crazy. Demons had tried to jump us, and we had killed them in one slice. The amateur demons had way less power than those of the 12 Kizuki. If anything, they were just significant creatures. Worthless beings, I muttered. There's a lot of demons here, huh? Muichiro added. It looks like they were designed to have the strength of a lower moon, so he was planning on wearing us down. I looked at Gome with wide eyes. Lower moon? Maybe I'm just that strong? Huh. Yin, this is no time for jokes, I thought as I shook my head. And Okitama-sama, the question had made us all go silent. He most likely made himself a decoy, I said, and Gome had slightly nodded. I can see Michio's expression falter, and it worried me. I could see him slightly tear up. Muzan didn't take my twin brother, but he took our second father. I swear I'll kill him. I'll show him well. Don't worry. We all feel the same. Gome's serious tone had made me shiver. Our crows had suddenly surrounded us, and I knew that it could either be really good news or horrible news. Ooh. Insect pillar Shinobu Kocho has been killed by Upper Moon too. I let out a small gasp, and the words from the crows came out. She definitely had something up her sleeve if she died to that demon. Shinobu-san, I said quietly, and slice between the three of us was unbearable. I'm going to kill all these ugly little imbeciles. A wall sprang out of nowhere, and it pushed Muichiro and I away from Gome. Shit, that hurt. But nothing too serious. Forget us, Hejijin-san. We can protect each other. Go! I shouted and held Michiro's uniform so we wouldn't get separated. The both of us had landed in a room that was an eerie vibe. There was a stone pillar everywhere. There were stone pillars everywhere, and my attention was focused on one singular figure in front of us. His eyes read, Upper Moon 1, and his aura was menacing. I could barely move my body, hesitant to draw my blade. I quickly glanced over at Muichiro, who seemed to calm himself rather quickly. That's right, Yin. You have to calm yourself down. You're a Hashira. You shouldn't be afraid. Your name, what is it? He suddenly asked. Michio Tokito. What does his name have to do with anything? I blurted out. Silence, girl. I had an offended look on my face. At least I'm not the one with 6 eyes. Muichiro had come in front of me protectively. I'm going to butcher his last name, but here we go. So the Tosekioi name has died out then, he told Muichiro, which confused the both of us. You are a member of the Tashinori family that I left behind. My child's descendant. So you are my offspring. Oh, please. Offspring or not, he is nothing like you. I finally unsheathed my katana and pointed it at him. Oh, I'm so going to die because of this. Mist breathing, second form. 8 layered mist. Ice of breath. First form, frostbite. We had released attacks that enveloped Upper Moon 1 in a thick, cold fog that they didn't seem to hit him at all. Mist and ice, I see. Good techniques. I quickly aimed for his mouth, but he disappeared and vanished somewhere else. Why put the youngest Hashira to Upper Moon 1? It's like they wanted us to die. We continuously aimed attacks towards the demon, and still, none had managed to hit him. It was like he was toying with us. You guys are so young and your skills are reframed this much. I saw Muichiro getting ready to use his 7th form, which took much concentration out of him. I had to act as a defensive measure if I wanted him to get out alive with all his limbs attached. When I saw Upper Moon 1 take out his sword, I jumped in front and countered his attack with one of my breathing techniques, though he had nicked my shoulder. That was not too painful. Countering that attack had pushed me and Muichiro a few meters back. The power of Upper Moon 1 was no force to be reckoned with, and I knew that he wouldn't make it out alive if it was just the two of us. Somebody. It was like, just for a bit, an attack from Muichiro, defense from me. It kept going until the demon had performed an attack that just about hit us in the arm and leg. We deflected most of the attack, preventing it from causing any further damage. Oh, are you guys close? You're attacking me as if you're one. Let me offer something. He stood before us. My descendant and girl. Allow me to turn you both into demons so that you could be used to that man. Of course I wasn't going to accept. But to buy us some time, I pretend to think about it. I squeezed Michiro's hand to see if he got the memo. This was the perfect time for someone to... Upper Moon 1 had disappeared before us, and went over to the figure who I discovered was Genya. Genya! The both of us shouted as he started dismembering right in front of our eyes. He's not dying. That's good. So, you're eating demons? There was a swordsmith about 300 years ago who did the same thing. I have no reason to let a fake demon like you live. Genya, go! I was about to intervene, but the presence of none other than the wind pillar appeared, protecting his brother. Yeah, as she should. The wind pillar. Upper Moon 1 had stepped back. You got that right. I am the wind that will rip your head off, bitch. He had the same crazed look to him. It was sort of frightening, to say the least. I turned back to Muichiro and ripped a piece of my hori and used it as a wrap for his injury we had gotten. It was good that it wasn't life-threatening. I heard a son shouting, How dare you dice up my little brother up, you fuck-eyed bastard. You're dead. Muichiro, I'm going to help Shinigazuma-san. You put Genya back together. Don't give up. Don't give me that look. I won't die. Hurry. I saw the worried look that Muichiro gave me, and it was like he was longing to tell me something. I joined in with Sanemi, not having to hold back as much since I didn't have to put on a defensive stance. Hey, Shinigazuma-san. I jumped from overhead and unleashed my 5th form. You brat, don't slow me down. I rolled my eyes and I heard a sentence coming from him. Being a 2v1 didn't seem to faze Upper Moon 1, or rather his name being Kokashibo. My heart started racing as we unleashed all more and more attacks, and I could feel myself getting faster and faster. There was this burning sensation on my hands, and I didn't seem to go away. Is this how it feels to get a mark? I guess I'm sort of feeling that what Mitsuri described in the second to last meeting we had. I dodged an inflicting attack barely and jumped above and over him again. Something had changed in his eyes as well. You, why can't I see his organs? I held back from vomiting and landed myself on the ground, a reasonable distance from the chaos. Sanemi and I had been cut off guard as Kogashibo had released a series of attacks, one of which aimed towards Muichiro and Genya. I ran over to attempt to block it, Muichiro raising his sword, but I got hit in the chest area. I coughed up a little blood and held my chest. Yin! Muichiro grabbed me and pulled me towards him. Muichiro, it's fine. Shinigazuma has that rare blood or shit. I have to keep fighting. I started to walk off in that direction, but a wave of pain struck me, and I stabbed my katana in the ground to help me stable myself. There was Sanemi fighting alone by himself again. I'm going back in. Muichiro placed his hand on my shoulder. Wait, no! I can sense Hajijin-san's presence coming. Pretty quickly. And just as expected, Gome came in with his spiky chain ball, already attacking the upper moon demon. More just keep coming one by one, I heard the nasty six-eyed demon say. I looked down to see Genya munching on a chunk of Kokoshibo's hair that was sliced off by one of our attacks. Okay, that was to be... Muichiro and I had once again started to attack, but with the help of Sanemi and Gome, also Genya, for whatever reason he decided to. Kokoshibo had given us a hard time with the multiple attacks that was aimed at us. Muichiro leaped in and pushed Sanemi out of the way before he could get injured. Though, then, when I glanced at the ground, I saw two sausage-looking fingers on the ground. Someone's fingers just got cut off? I looked at my hand and had a sense of relief when I saw that all my fingers were still in contact. Muichiro! I was cut off when I felt a cold breeze come towards my neck, and I quickly jumped back, dodging the incoming attack, but I felt a quick sensation of pain in my cheek. He's adjusting to our quickened speed. Well, he is Upper Moon 1. Moon breathing. 14th form. I'm gonna butcher all these names. Cassiopeia, Tenmen, Crescent Moon. Man, you guys get a cliffhanger! Also, I just wanted to say I am back all nice and ready for your entertainment. So, if you guys have been wondering where I've been, I have been sick. Like, really badly. So, that is, my bad. It really isn't my bad. It's blame the weather. It's been 25 degrees out and cold as shit. But I'm so sorry that I kept you waiting for who knows how long. I really don't know. But I hope you guys all enjoyed this episode. I love you all so much. Bye. Mwah.